Okay, everybody, this is working on my Husqvarna LTH1742 Kohler engine, part 2. So the verdict is in. The results are, it's my own stupidity. So like I already mentioned in the last video, this tractor did not have a carburetor on it when I got it. I ordered the carburetor there from Amazon and put it on and used it for a total of maybe 3 hours, if that, and everything worked just fine. No problems whatsoever. The problem is this right here. This is not the correct air filter box for this carburetor application. This is just some random filter box that come off of some random lawnmower that my friend had, and it happened to mount to this carburetor, and that's pretty much all she wrote. But it is not the correct system. So after putting this brand new carburetor on here, it more or less was on the carburetor, open top with just the filter element there, and really thinking, oh well, it's mostly covered, just those louvers are open. That's stupid. I should have bagged the carburetor up or put plastic over the thing early on, and I didn't. And basically what it boils down to is moisture got down in the carburetor and buggered everything up. You can see, I'm sure, well, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera here. You see all the rust and scale that's on that plate? Yep. That's the choke plate. That's the, choke plate. It got moisture down in there, and it buggered up the needle. And then with the needle stuck open, as soon as you turn on the fuel valve, it just starts overflowing. Now the leaking is coming around this gasket here, and I think that what boils down to is ethanol in the fuel. Ethanol and gaskets do not get along. They just don't. And basically over the winter it wrecked my carburetor. Now the problem is I can go down to the local small engine repair place and I can get a rebuild kit for this carburetor, but it's going to cost me right around $40 to get it. I'm not going to do that for two reasons. Number one, it's going to take about, from my past experience, about 2 weeks to get. That's about how long the local place that I have to go to will take to get the necessary kit. I don't want to wait. And number two, I'm not going to spend close to $40. I think it'd be right at $40 after you pay the taxes for it, when I could go back to Amazon and order this complete carburetor. And again, this is a carburetor and I will try to put it in the notes, for a Husqvarna LTH1742, powered by a Kohler engine, twin cylinder. I believe it's a 16 or 16.5 horse engine. That is the carburetor for it. And if you are in need of a carburetor for this style engine, the easiest way to track it down, this is the number. Just go to Amazon and search carb number B as in boy 076, J as in John 8, 2, Q as in Queen, V as in Victor 5, B076J82QV5, and it's around $23 and change for this carburetor. Of course, then there's shipping, and shipping I think was like $5 extra, so I'm still going to be around $35-ish, but last time I ordered it, if I remember correctly, it took a little more than a week to get here, and it's brand new, comes complete with the gaskets, front and rear, and is really just bolt on and go. Now, that's what I'm probably going to end up doing, but when I'm not fighting the clouds already dripping on me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a wrench to fit this. You just put a wrench on here and spin this sensor off. This is actually not a sensor. This is what do they call it? An anti-backfire solenoid. When you kill the key it switches this off, which stops fuel flow into the main jet and makes it to where raw fuel is not continually put into the engine and then through the exhaust system where it could otherwise backfire. That's what this little electronic contraption down here is. So this is supposed to thread off, then the bowl comes off, and I'm going to take this carburetor apart and I'm going to clean up the needle and seat as best I can. I'm going to try not to disrupt these green gaskets as much as possible, and hoping that they will just simply reseal. With regards to this gasket, well, I'll have to address that when I take it apart. I might just put some silicone on there real carefully and see if I can get this to quit leaking. If I can salvage this carburetor and coerce it into functioning again, because it was running. The carburetor was running, or the engine was running. Just cranked it over and fired right up and ran fine. It was just leaking more fuel out on the ground than it was putting into the engine to run on, and that's obviously not a good situation. So if I can get this to run without puking gas all over the place, then I will postpone purchasing another carburetor until my next payday, and then I'm going to purchase the carburetor anyway to keep it in stock as an OEM replacement. Now, from what I understand, this is a generic Chinese or Japanese made knockoff, which is why it's so cheap. $23. I went to my lawn and garden part supply shop in Silent Springs, Arkansas, when I was originally trying to find a carburetor for this tractor, and boy howdy, it was going to cost me a flat fortune. Little over $100 for that little itty bitty carburetor. Yeah. So then I was fortunate enough to find a crossover number, which led me to this little bad boy, and it works. It's the correct carburetor for the engine. I just should have had more hindsight to, if I couldn't find the right carburetor air filter housing for it, I should have just bagged it up for the winter and just said, remind yourself to pull the bag off before you go and fire it up in the spring. But I didn't do that. That just goes to show you. You can have the knowledge in your head on how to do something and still forget to do it, and it's the stupidest little thing to do to save yourself some time and money. So, yep, the prognosis is stupidity. My own short-sighted stupidity. So that's where we're at. I'm going to take the carburetor apart a little bit later, probably here in the next day or two. See if I can take it apart and clean the needle and seat. See if I can salvage the gasket that goes between the bowl and the carburetor base. If I can salvage this carburetor and make it run without puking fuel all over the place, hey, that's awesome. If not, well, then I guess I'll have to go back on Amazon and I've already pulled it up. It's still listed, so I'll have to spend another $23 and change plus another $5 or $6 for shipping and have it sent out. Well, what's the old saying? Hindsight is 20/20. Yep, I believe it. So, get a carburetor that works on here again. The front right tire is flat and will not take a seat. So it's actually supported by a jack right now, which I need to find something to sit this tractor on, because I need my jack back. Just in case I get a flat on my car, I need a jack. So better find something around here. There we go. I see cinder blocks that Maya just volunteered to hold my tractor up. And, you know, I call my channel Poor Redneck World for a reason. It should be a pretty simple matter just to get this thing back on the road, so to speak, and just start mowing. I wanted to mow today, but clearly that's not happening. And if I don't get this up and running very quickly, well then, I guess I'll be borrowing my friend's 90 model F-250 diesel again, and hopefully the flatbed trailer to go with it. Go into my friend's place and load up my old run-down, wore-out, ready for the retirement pile MTD, and run a few laps with it around here and see if my recent repairs on it took hold. But that's a case for another story. I'm going to stop yammering now, and I'm going to go to my car and put this stuff away, and then I'm going to go take a shower. But one last time, if you need a replacement carburetor on the cheap for this tractor, hopefully, there you go, Husqvarna, hydrostatic. That's the model tractor that I have. That's the kind of engine that it has. I believe it's a 16 or 16 and a half horse. And the carburetor looks like this. Mounts on there like that. Then this is the carb number on Amazon that you need. And it'll take you straight, and it's right at $23 and change, plus applicable shipping. So maybe this will help somebody out. I'll just, there. You can freeze frame and write it down. Alright, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments. And again, if anybody has the correct air filter housing for this old orange girl, drop a comment. Maybe I can arrange to get from you. Otherwise, I have been to, I don't know how many small engine salvages around here looking for that, and I just cannot find it.